Hi there, I go by the name The Celtic Storyteller and welcome to this really special pick a card reading for February and beyond, where my intention is to tap into the healing and inspirational power of the Irish goddess Brigid. Brigid appears in old Irish mythological tales of Tuatha de Danann, who were the mythological descendants of the goddess Danann, the ancestors of the Irish Celts. Now, she was the daughter of Dagda and is known as the goddess of healers, poets, smiths, childbirth and inspiration, and also known as the goddess of fire and hearth and a patron of war. So she has a pretty full CV, doesn't she? Not to mention that she somehow became St Brigid after Ireland was converted to Christianity. For this reading, I have a small bowl of water to represent Brigid's association with healing. In Ireland, many people to this day will visit St Brigid's wells, and there's many of them around the country, and the wells are believed to have healing powers. Now, often people will hang a piece of cloth on a tree or branch or lay them on the stones around the wells so they would be cured of illness. So that's why I have these ribbons here. St Brigid, as you may know, is also associated with the woven reed cross, and that's more of a Christian now than a pagan story. So today I'm going to stick with the tradition, the older Irish tradition of Brigid, the goddess Brigid, and these three ribbons you can choose from to choose your reading. And each one will represent, something that you want to hear about for February and beyond. So this can be anything that's associated with Brigid, if you like, which is, childbirth, healing, inspiration, whatever. I mean, like I said, she has a really full CV. And you may petition her for whatever you want if you want as part of this reading. So here's a silver ribbon. Sorry to keep popping around like that. So silver, gold, and blue. So these can represent whatever you associate with these colours or metals, say silver, gold, blue, maybe being water. And I will do a reading for each of these ribbons. So that's 1, 2, or 3. And I'll start off with reading number 1. Hi there, and welcome to everybody who picked the ribbon number 1, which was the silver ribbon. I'm just going to put that there beside the little water, which is to represent the well, a little St Brigid's well here at home. Now, I have shuffled all these cards already beforehand, but I'll just do it once more now on camera. So let's see what's... Now, let's see what we can learn from St Brigid about February. So you can think of this as St Brigid, Goddess Brigid, whichever you're more comfortable with. Or you can just associate this reading with the time of year, New beginnings and spring. Okay, 1. This one here wants to come out. Nope. I think this one here. Okay, so we have the moon, 9 of wands, and the 2 of cups. Okay, so with the moon card coming up here beside the 9 of wands, it's like you have been, I think, hanging on the defensive. It's like you could be nearly on your last legs. You could have suffered some minor injury or had some sickness or illness, and you're really showing an awful lot of strength and determination to get through this, and you are hanging on and you are successful with this. It might have dragged up some things that you're finding hard to deal with the moon card coming up. So maybe some insecurities about yourself and your self-worth or your strength, your ability to continue and to cope. And this could be around a relationship, a partnership, or love. Either whether you don't know if you're just going to meet somebody, or if you maybe just feel a bit worn out with the relationship that you're currently in. You just might feel that you've sort of nearly had enough, You might have been putting up with things that you really didn't think you'd need to put up with, but you're resisting and you're resilient, and I do feel it's something that you want to continue with, but it has dragged up some things from your subconscious maybe some fears around the relationship or around where you're headed that have kind of, that have maybe upset you and are, troubling you, At the next layer now I'm going to use the Egyptian Tarot. We have the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. So you have two queens here. I'm beginning to see something here, but I'm going to wait till I get the third card, just to be sure. No, not there. Okay, yeah. Look, I think for some people, Queen of Swords sometimes can mean divorce. Now, it doesn't always mean divorce, but, with this defensive here and the Two of Cups, and you've got the Three of Swords here, which can mean heartache. I see this as a more independent card of getting over heartache and, being able to remove your own swords. This is very, very strong character coming in here. So remember, Brigid was a very, very strong woman. I mean, she was a goddess. She was, considered in old Irish mythology. She was a demigod. And like if you draw on that kind of strength that you have yourself, that resilience, it's there for good reason, because you really want the best out of your life. The Queen of Wands is very, how would you say it? She's a warm, determined, confident, graceful woman. She's like, would be a lot of people's ideal woman. Very passionate about what she wants to do in life and who she's with in life. And, maybe you're having doubts about somebody in your life, about a relationship in your life, and this is coming to a head in February and beyond. And what you want is this love. You want this, loyalty, friendship, companionship, where two people come together on equal ground. And maybe hasn't been happening for you, and you just want to take that away. You want to take the pain away, because this is your ultimate goal. So let's just get a little bit more on that. I'm going to layer this down now for you. This one here. Okay, the Hermit. Yeah. Okay, and this one here, Five of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. Alright. I'll tell you what I'm thinking now in a minute when I get the third card. And Death. Okay. Alright, well, so with the Hermit coming out here, this is, as you can imagine, the Hermit is sometimes sort of being on your own and thinking things through on your own. You have a lot of light here as well, which is illumination coming from thinking through things your own way. And it's interesting that you have, this kind of the moon here, but then it's like it finally comes to illumination, maybe when you cut away something that has been upsetting you or holding you back, if it's a relationship. Maybe this is either a person or something about the relationship and that this person brings to the relationship that you no longer want as part of this relationship, okay? And maybe you've been too afraid to say it. But with the Hermit, you kind of, everything else needs to go quiet. When everything else goes dark, you can see the light. That light won't shine if there's everything else is bright around it. So you kind of need that darkness or that moment to yourself. It could be moments, could be days, could be weeks. Do you know what I mean? The Hermit isn't necessarily about going into hermit mode for a long time, but it's definitely having that time to yourself to think things through, to see what you want to follow, what light you want to follow. And the interesting thing about this here is the Five of Pentacles, especially in the Druid craft, is sometimes seen as being cheated on. So look, you know, I don't know if that's relevant for your situation in February, but it's maybe, you know, being left out of some particular situation, you know, that you've been fighting for, you've been striving for, and you really have the strength. You know, you're coming up as somebody who really shouldn't be left out in the cold, or somebody who shouldn't be cheated on, but, you know, maybe for some people this is somebody else is getting in the way. The poor Queen of Wands gets a bad rap a lot of the time. People read her as, you know, the person that your partner is going off with, which isn't always fair. This, you know, I often read this card coming up as, you know, in this position, you know, this is you are this wonderful person, and, you know, why have you been on the defensive, and why have you been fighting so hard and having to put up and persist with things? You know, maybe there's a situation going on that's unfair to you, and here you do want to see an end to it, you know, but this isn't that, you know, this love will never come to you. It's more that, yeah, there's either a part of some relationship that you've been in that needs to transform, like I was saying here. You know, something about the relationship will need to change in order for you to come together equally or find happiness. Or maybe only by removing these troubling situations or the things that are hurting you will this come to pass. So let's just get one more layer of Egyptian Tarot and see what else comes out on this for you. We have the moon again coming up underneath the moon. Yes, so there are messages that maybe you have to decipher, a truth that you have to find. You know, with the moon, we see things differently at night, and in our dreams, and, you know, messages coming from our subconscious. They're not always completely easy to decipher. Sometimes a bit of rubbish comes through. You just have to, you know, you need a guide in order to filter through your subconscious. You need a safe guide. So maybe Brigid can be your guide as you know, delve into the waters. So it's funny how much water, you know, with the moon, it's a lot of water. So that's your subconscious, you know, so to try and sift through your subconscious to get to messages that are important to you, what your soul wants. Maybe you need a guide, and if it's not yourself, maybe it's somebody that you trust, or just, you know, say, set your intentions, pray if that's, you know, if you're into praying, you know, to a deity that you believe in and that can help you. I have the Eight of Swords here, which is being trapped. That's interesting, isn't it? You know, yeah, it's like this there is an external situation that has you trapped. It's through no fault of your own, because you are this amazing person, extremely attractive to other people, have so much going for yourself, yet, you know, the circumstances around you are pretty hard. And with the Eight of Swords, you don't see it in this deck, but in the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's a woman that's bound loosely with bindings over her eyes and her hands, which she can drop and let loose if she drop away if she wants to. And if she did, she would see that the swords she's surrounded with, that there's loads of escape routes. It's not as bad as it looks, you know. But let's see what the third card is here. Hold on. Sorry, I think it's over here. I think the card you want is here. This one here. And we have the Knave of Chalices. Yeah, this is the Knight of Cups. Sorry, the Knave is the Page, which could mean an apology is coming. and that apology could transform how you feel about, you know, maybe this trouble here or this heartache. And I really, really want to get another card for this. There doesn't really seem to be enough information there, does there? You know, this is a little scribe, this guy here. Oh, look, you've got the sun card here. 7 of Wands, sun card. So, like, yeah, I think, you know, things are going to be all right, but not after a bit of healing, a bit of, you know, maybe searching, soul searching, cutting away and discussing what has been troubling and getting in the way of a relationship. Yeah, so a scribe, so there may be a letter or a text. People don't write letters anymore, do they? Well, maybe you'll get a letter. So I just want more on this. Oh God, there we have the 8 of Swords again. This is very much in your own hands. You know, like, don't be afraid to, you know, if you stay still, if you don't do nothing, you know, I don't think anything will change. But here's the 8 of Swords again, which is saying this is very much in your own hands. I was explaining the woman who's bound, you know, they're not actually that tightly bound. But when, you know, if you were in this situation, you put your foot forward, you would think you would be cut and, you know, that you can't move. But if you can see the situation clearly, you would see that there's loads of escape routes. So I'm afraid, yes, this is very much, you know, a happy partnership is completely in your own hands. If it's a current partnership, you know, any hurt or pain, you have the ability to remove this yourself, to let it go, to change it from what it was doing to what you want it to do to you. And maybe, you know, a bit of journaling about this would help with your sort of hermit's journey, your soul searching to what's really right, because you're starting off very confused, but I think part of you knows you want to stop this, you want to cut that away, you're kind of sick of it, you've really put up with an awful lot of it. So journaling may be your way to finding the truth that you need in order to live this sort of lifestyle that you want, to live in the relationship the way you want, coming up as the Queen of Wands, rather than somebody who feels trapped and hurt and has kind of had enough. So I think this is very accessible to you. But there's a journey to be had in order to get there. So reading number 1, there is a silver lining, I promise. And it does seem to be in your own hands. So that's all I have for your reading. I do hope that this has helped you in some way. If you liked it, I'd love if you gave it a thumbs up and dropped a comment in the box below. And if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love if you would subscribe. I am wishing you and your loved ones peace and good health. So slán go fóill, which is bye for now in Irish, and I'm wishing you all the best. Hi there, and welcome to everybody who picked group number 2, or the gold ribbon, which I'm just going to put there beside our little Brigid's Healing Well. Now I'm just going to pull some cards for you for what's coming up in February, anything around maybe wishes or intentions that you're sending to Brigid or St Brigid, and let's see what comes up. I'll just cut these cards as well, sorry. I've shuffled them beforehand, so it's just really an on-camera shuffle here. Oh, come on, don't be stuck. Here, okay, here we go. February and beyond, if that's what wants to come out for you. I think this one here. I'm going to start off with 3, but I'm going to kind of layer it down between this and the Egyptian tarot. This one here. And here, I think. Okay, what do we have? We have the 8 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, okay, and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so a bit of stuck energy, a bit of not knowing where to go yet. The 8 of Swords suggests that this is partially self-inflicted, in that, you know, whatever is binding you and tying you, it is escapable. These bindings, they look quite tight there, but they're not supposed to be in the description, you know. these bindings aren't that tight, you can take them off and then you would see that you can escape. But the situation looks a lot more dire than it is. So the Seven of Pentacles is suggesting, you know, maybe now it's time to sort of take stock, take a look at where things are going, and, you know, take a small lesson from what you've learned so far. And, you know, with that, you should be able to decide what to keep in your life and what to remove. And then the Four of Pentacles is, you know, that's a lot about sort of not moving, you know, sort of staying still. So there is a little bit of stagnant energy here. So when a well, you know, if you've water flowing into a well, you know, it often flows out somewhere else, you know, so the water never gets stagnant. So if you think, I don't know why that's image is just coming into my head, you know, with St Brigid's well and stuff. And if you're interested in the Goddess Brighid or St Brigid, or, you know, healing and wells, you know, I think with this stuck energy, maybe it's, you know, thinking of flowing water and thinking of that, you know, things eventually do need to flow in order to clean themselves out. So maybe concentrate on that a little bit. Does that help you now? Because that image is coming into my head quite strongly, that kind of cleansing of your situation, you know, and you will be able to see, you know, maybe what's mirrored then in, you know, look into water and see what's reflected there. I don't know why that suggestion is coming into my head, but I just said it, so maybe give it a try. You've nothing to lose. Now, King of Pentacles, you know, so that's somebody who's very, very stable, financially stable, and, you know, quite a secure and strong person. So that's good. So that's sort of the good part of stability. And you have the wheel, yeah. So things come around. Things will come around to your way again. Things will work out. Now I think one over here. And the Seven of Wands. Okay, so that's a bit of like a defensive position. So, you know, you could be a little bit defensive about, you know, making any changes. You know, you have 7 here and a 7 here. Yeah, you could. So the Seven of Wands is keeping a defensive position about your situation, and you could be at that sort of like 7 is 5. 7 is a magic number, so it's like I'm fine where I am. Yet there is this, you know, a little bit of worry and a little bit of being bound. So you don't want to be bound forcibly to your situation if you can set yourself free. And this King of Pentacles is showing that there definitely is success coming to you. So maybe you need to, maybe there's only a small amount of things that you need to weed away from your situation, and things will, the wheel will turn a little bit more in your favor. Destiny will, you know, what you're destined to have come into your life will shift then, that little bit of clearing. Now let's get another there. You know, I'm seeing nothing really dramatic just yet, which is good. Now, 14, which is, I can never pronounce that. Fhéile, I think it is, but it's the temperance card, so it's staying true to your life purpose. Okay, staying true to your life purpose. So maybe part of what you're bound to, you want to be bound to, and like I was saying to you before, it's some of it's self-inflicted, but maybe in a good way. Maybe it's just in order to reach your goal, your security, you need to put up with something just at the moment, or, you know, certainly early February, or for February and then beyond. You know, it's because it's for the longer term. You know, this is your destiny. So it requires only a small little bit of weeding or bit of change in order for the wheel to come around to the success that you want. Yes, and the Three of Cups. So yeah, it's like you will be celebrating this success when you've just done your little bit of housekeeping, weeding, housekeeping, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's here. and Two of Wands. Yeah, so look, a door, you know, the opportunity will come to you. This door will open and you'll have a chance to move forward in a different way, maybe with some slight changes. But there's maybe a bit of competition, and you know, maybe that's where the difficulty is coming from, that there is some kind of competition coming into your life, or some competition getting in your way right at the moment. But you have a good set of friends who will support you and might even be able to give you some advice. The Eight of Pentacles. So again, this is kind of a work-related. Eight of Pentacles is, you know, really concentrating hard on the job at hand. And it's funny that you have an 8 here and an 8 here, but this is a much more positive 8. So it's almost like I was saying before, you know, you maybe something you just have to work on. You know, you need to work on to stick it out. And if you do, you know, you'll become an expert. You will have success at what it is you've been trying to learn, maybe, or work at, or whatever the situation is. It's what you want to do, and this is bringing in happiness and balance. Oh, the Nine of Pentacles, which is really, you know, successful independence, having those luxuries in life, being able to sort of step back and say, I have my success, you know, I have time to myself now, because these luxuries I've accumulated these luxuries in life now. They don't necessarily need to be materialistic luxuries, but they are, you know, a sort of a solid foundation and being safe and secure for your future. One more here. Nope, I think it's this one here. And you have the Three of Wands. So 2, 3 more wands under here. Like the Three of Wands is kind of successful endeavours in business. You know, so the door that you're opening, you know, you're fighting off, it's like you're sticking to your ground. You're fighting off, you know, you're fighting off the competition, sticking to your ground, sticking to this idea and this thing that you want. And, you know, the doors are opening for you, and you're going to step through there and your ships will come in. You know, you will be successful. Wow, that's really, really good. Now, I'm just going to got one more kind of, you know, sort of future-ish card here for you. So it's funny that you have the gold ribbon, and, you know, a lot of this is about, you know, it could be materialistic or kind of career, but certainly your sort of home and hearth, your success. You know, the Pentacles are, you know, it's grounded really. It's, you know, it's earth. It's what we need, you know, we need to survive. You know, and you could have a chest of gold waiting for you somewhere. Now, what do I want? I think this one here. Let's see what I have. Oh, Queen of Cups, amazing. So at the end of the day, your success and what you're working on and what you're fighting for will allow you then, you know, once all this is past, to concentrate more on, sorry, just somebody came in there, to concentrate more on, you know, your emotional well-being then as well, and to be able to give to others. So this is somebody with a very, very generous nature, and I think that's might be why you're fighting for this, because you really want to share with others, you know. And the Queen of Cups is beautiful. You know, we've got all this water here again, you know, this healing energy coming through for, you know, what's behind all of this, what's behind your situation is maybe to get to this point here where you can help others. And maybe then if you're not working so hard, you have more time to share yourself emotionally as well. That's really lovely. Okay, group number 2, the gold ribbon. That is all that I have for your reading today. I hope that this has helped you in some way. If you liked it, I'd really love if you gave it a thumbs up and dropped a comment below if you like. If you want to subscribe as well, I'd love to have you on board. I am wishing you and your loved ones peace and good health. So slán go fóill, which is bye for now in Irish, and I'm wishing you all the best. Hi there, and welcome to everybody who picked group number 3, which was the blue ribbon, which could be associated with water and healing. And I'm just going to put it there beside my little Goddess Brigid's well, or St Brigid. Now, here we go. start off with 3 from the Druid craft. I think this one here. And this one here. Okay. So you have, oh, the Magician. It's a really good start. The 8 of Swords. And the Tower. Oh, okay. So it's like you know exactly where you want to go and you have a goal and you're getting off to an absolutely brilliant start. The Magician has all the tools they need to complete the tasks that they want to reach the goal that they want to. They're really in tune with themselves, with their kind of higher self and what they want. And they're able to ground this and actually in a practical way and make it happen. And yet you also, it's like you also have so many doubts. You're stopping yourself. It's, you know, self-inflicted, stopping yourself from taking the next step. And maybe it's because of this Tower here. So with the Tower, you're building something on shaky ground. The Tower is always going to fall. It doesn't always come as a surprise. You feel it's a surprise at the time, but you know, because it's that gut feeling where, you know, you've sort of built something on a lie, or not exactly on a lie, on, you know, on something you knew that wasn't going to last. So maybe, you know, it was just a bit too quick. You know, whatever start you make on something, it's a bit too quick. You kind of know it, and almost immediately you're, oh, I don't know if I should be doing it this way. I'm not going to take too many steps further. And yes, it kind of falls apart from the get-go. But don't worry, let's get a bit more information on this. So, I mean, the Tower falling is something good, because if you want something to last, you do want to build it on something solid. Okay, so where are you going to go with this? Let's see. The Fool, which is another new beginning. So it's like very quick. You're like, right, I'm going to start again. I'm going to jump off that cliff. I'm just going to get going. I don't care if things look scary. I'm ready to go. And the Fool is just before the Magician. So it's really an earlier start. So it's like maybe you started after the start line. You have to kind of go back to before the start line and reset yourself, you know, tie your laces and, you know, count to 3, start again. This is like the false start, you know, the whistle hasn't blown yet and you went off. But now you have to stop, come back, gather your little parcel and start again, you know, really kind of having a bit of a think about it. The Fool is always protected by, you know, your ancestors and, you know, the spiritual world. Hold on a second. You know, it's like they pack your bag. And if you didn't know, the bag that the Fool carries actually has all the tools that the Magician has. That's what's in their bag. Now, I get the feeling you're not too bothered by this sort of false start. Yeah, 9 of Cups, because actually the second time around, you know, the 9 of Cups is all your wishes come true, and like you're really sitting smugly and happily and absolutely delighted with the way things are going, because you've got everything that you wanted. So yeah, it's like, and maybe you just needed to make that false start, you know, because maybe you just needed to start, like to get up off your behind and get going. So even if it didn't work out that time, it's the momentum has started, and that's what you needed. You needed the momentum more than the correct way to do it. And where do we want? We do want one here. It's this one. And the Knight of Pentacles, yes. So the Knight of Pentacles is very, very careful. It's the slow-moving knight in the deck, the one that gets all his ducks in a row. You know, they've tilled fields. Excuse me. You've got a tilled field behind the Knight of Pentacles, meaning that everything is put in place first before continuing on. So the success will come the second time around, after that second start. And you'll kind of know yourself, everything is working out, but you will make sure that you're cautious, because you'll have been burnt from the first time around. So while it's a kind of, you know, so it's a more thought through second approach, and a careful execution then as well. So as you continue, you just be careful with your execution. Now, what else do we have? One in here, I think. Oh, Prince of Wands, yes. So it's like, you know, then once you know everything is going well, you almost can't stop yourself. Then you can kind of charge forward a little bit more, and the ideas will start coming quick and fast. You know, all these creative, intuitive ideas, they'll all be working out really well for you. And you'll feel that passion of creativity, and you'll feel all the passion with how things are going. And you'll be in tune with, you know, sort of, you know, your intuition, your higher self, and those kind of secrets that kind of kept, you know, that kind of meant that there was issues the first time around. These will begin to be revealed in order to gain even more success, gain even more momentum. And do trust your intuition, even if you can't explain exactly why you want to go the way you want to go. And there's your Prince of Pentacles again. So that's just showing the balance there between the, you know, keep going with it, you know, like bring your passion, bring your enthusiasm, and, you know, don't forget to every so often kind of check where you are, check your pace, cross your T's and dot your I's, and make sure that you don't forget this page of the Prince of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles here. So, you know, just always sort of be careful and be methodical about what you're doing as well. Okay, and the last set of cards here, back to the Egyptian Tarot. Okay, I think this one and this one want to come out. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So we have more Pentacles again, excellent, and the Three of Swords. This is making its appearance a lot today. And one more. And the Six of Wands. Okay. So the Queen of Pentacles, you know, coming after the Page and the Knight here, you know, she's again another practical element in the deck. And this very homely and motherly and down to earth, and, you know, being able to provide for family or community around you. And then Six of Wands is victory. Okay, so this being victorious. And then you have your Three of Swords in the middle, which usually means heartache. And the one in this deck, I often read it as sort of being able to remove the swords yourself. That's the kind of image I get when I see this card, that you are in control of whatever pain that might have been inflicted on you. So I wonder, does something come out? You can't kind of tell that it's going to happen. It's maybe a surprise. You know, and it might have come through this first time around. So I suppose if you're going to do something similar a second time, some of what's involved in this situation will still be there, and maybe that comes through a little bit, but you have to be, I suppose, very confident and sure in yourself that this is actually what you wish for. Like, don't be afraid. There's somehow you'll know what to do in order to fix this. You'll know what to do in order to, you know, remove the pain or the difficulties in this situation yourself. You learn the lessons that you need to learn from this, and you might have kind of copped on a bit from the first time around, and this will kind of in your subconscious, you'll sort of understand this, so that anything difficult that comes around here the last time, you'll be able to manage, and you'll know what to do, even if it's in a way that you can't even explain to yourself, you know, but you'll know how to manage it, you'll know how to deal with it, and then you will have success and victory here in the end with the Six of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to pull one more Druid Craft, kind of a future-y type of card here. Okay. Oh, I think I want to pick this one here. Oh, and we have Justice. Okay, so this is sort of learning the lessons from your past, which is much of what I think would be going on here. Like that first time around, and then the second time around is more successful. So, you know, with justice, you sort of weigh up the past and the future, and, you know, you learn your lessons from the past, you forgive yourself for any mistakes, and you balance that out into the future. And it's also when you kind of, I think with justice, you know, you look at the motives behind some actions, not just the actions themselves. So it's taking a very, very fair and in-depth look at a situation that may need to be judged, or, you know, so maybe there's something that comes out here, especially here, and you have to look at it, you have to take it on board and look at it, you know, in a really fair manner, because justice is always fair. And, you know, you see with the owl here, it's very wise, and the spider here, so these are the webs, intricate webs that are woven. And that's why I'm saying also, you know, that it's not just actions that need to be looked at, or the situation or what happened. It's sort of the motive and the build up and what's underneath all of these actions. Again, with the high priestess, kind of understanding and knowing what's to be done without really even being able to sometimes explain it to yourself. And so, and maybe I think you need to bring that going forward then, whatever your lessons you've learnt, and be fair on yourself as well. So that's all I have for your reading. I hope that this has helped you in some way. If you liked it, I'd love if you gave it a thumbs up, and maybe dropped a comment below if you like. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd love if you could subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you. I am wishing you and your loved ones peace and good health. So slán go fóill, which is bye for now in Irish, and I'm wishing you all the best.